Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pengest travel. It's June the 2nd, we're in Beijing, a city that I both hate and love. Beijing has been the capital city of China for the most part of history in the past 8 centuries. Well, this looks like a nice courtyard house, but it's a private house and not open to the public. The neighboring house has a very luxurious gate with a name plaque. The owner must be very rich. Many of Beijing's historical districts has vanished during the Cultural Revolution and the economic boom. However, there are some places that are preserved luckily. Those zigzagging pathways in the historical districts are called hutong. It's a word believed to have a Mongolian origin, meaning pathway or streets or avenues. Those houses might look normal, but they are very expensive, and the residents here are able to enjoy a very traditional way of life. Okay, now we are arriving at our destination, the Prince Gong's Palace. It was one of the few palaces well preserved for the princes of the Qing dynasty. I think we need to join the queue from somewhere down the street. Oh yeah, here we are, the starting point for the queue. The ownership of this palace has been transferred several times. However, there are 2 owners that are very famous. Okay, welcome to the Prince Gong's Palace. Prince Gong is the 2nd famous owner. He was the younger brother of Emperor Heshen, and the palace is named after him. Turn left after entrance, you will find the ticket office. Here we are. The ticket costs 40 RMB, something around 5 or 6 USD. At the back is the map. The palace covers quite a large area of land. Maybe we can start from the west wing. 国恩嘉庆. It means thanks to the emperor's generosity, the family enjoys prosperity. After entering the gate, we arrive at a very nice small courtyard. This courtyard is among the first set of buildings designed and constructed by the first famous owner, Heshen, the gay lover of Emperor Qianlong. The main house, which used to be a living room for Heshen, is now an exhibition room over his lifetime. Heshen was a very handsome and smart person. There were 5 official languages in Qing dynasty: Manchu, Mandarin, Mongolian, Tibetan, and Uyghur. Heshen is fluent in all of them except Uyghur. He had a very rich knowledge in literature, and he wrote very good poems. What's more, he's very good at sports, especially those popular ones such as horse riding, archery, and hunting. Behind the first courtyard, there is another one which used to be Heshen's bedchamber. The stone in the middle of the courtyard is Taihu stone. It's produced around Taihu Lake, not far from Shanghai, but very far from Beijing. It was a luxury decoration at that time, which is believed to bring good luck to the family. The inner decoration of the bedchamber is another exhibition of luxury. These wooden decorations are made of precious golden phoebe trees, which only grows in southwest part of China. The most astonishing part is not how much the furniture worth, but this decoration style far exceeds the standard allowed to a minister. This showed how special Heshen is in the eyes of Qianlong. Beyond the bedchamber, we arrive at the north boundary of the residential area. From here, I turned to the east wing and headed back south from there. At the end of the middle wing, there is a private praying area. The Manchu noblemen are devoted Tibetan Buddhists, so the praying area is of Tibetan style. You will have noticed the Maitreya statue in front of the praying room if you have seen my last video. The statues of the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas are very beautiful. Beside the gate, there are 2 lines of prayer wheels. In ancient times, very few people can read, so they invented the prayer wheels. The logic is that by rotating the prayer wheels, you are reciting the Buddhist scriptures. You must have noticed the water tanks at the gate. This is not purely for decoration. They have a very practical use. Wood is widely used in this building. In case of fire, the water could be used to extinguish the fire. This exquisite box is the prototype of the refrigerator. So most of our modern players were also enjoyed by our ancestors. Let's come back to the love story of Qianlong and Heshen. Of course, there is no official document recording their love, but there are stories how intimate they were. When Heshen got the first chance to meet Qianlong, he was only 19 while Qianlong was already 58. Rumors were that Qianlong had fallen in love with one of his father's young concubines when he was in his adolescence. His mother, fearing this scandal would have his son's reputation ruined, ordered the concubine to commit suicide. On hearing the news, Qianlong rushed to the concubine in the hope of saving her, but it was too late. He only found the concubine's body. The heartbroken boy left a kiss at the back of the concubine's neck and asked her to come back in her next life. On seeing Heshen in the first sight, Qianlong was astonished how much Heshen and that concubine resembled each other. What's more, there is a red birthmark at the back of Heshen's neck. Qianlong was convinced that Heshen was that concubine coming back to him in the next life. Okay, talking about the building, now we are standing in the most important courtyard of the palace, Ying'an Dian, the Silver Peace Hall, a place where sacrificial ceremonies were held. Now it's been changed to an exhibition room for the history of this palace. I was amazed how modern the life of the imperial family had been. And there is a miniature of this palace. Can you recognize where we are now? The grandeur of the palace demonstrated how rich Heshen had been. Historians believe that he was the richest man in the world back in his time. Relying on the emperor's special favor, Heshen was able to accumulate enormous amount of wealth. It's impossible that Qianlong was totally unaware of what he had done. Love is the only way to explain why Qianlong had indulged him so much. In the northmost courtyard of the middle wing, there is an exhibition of traditional Chinese architectural styles. Further north beyond that, we come back to the prayer room. The residential area is finished now, and let's head to the garden area. The name of water lily in Chinese literally means sleeping lotus. Now it's sleeping, reminding us that time flies. The gateway to the garden bears significant Baroque influence. At that time, there were quite a few European architects and painters working in the imperial palaces of China. They brought new ideas and skills and helped China to make breakthroughs in architecture and art. However, the general design of the garden was inspired by the most important Chinese literature work, A Dream of Red Mansions. In fact, the book was almost banned from publication because it reflected the political battles at that time. But Heshen liked the book so much that he persuaded Qianlong to allow the book to be sold publicly. Interestingly, the book, from some perspectives, is a portrayal of Qianlong and Heshen's love story. The main characters in the book like to write poems. Qianlong and Heshen's favorite activity together is writing poems. The book has a tragic ending. After enjoying incomparable luxury, the hero's life was destroyed. When Qianlong was alive, Heshen was the most powerful man only after him. But he was arrested by the new emperor immediately after Qianlong's death. Only 15 days later, he was ordered to commit suicide. The new emperor had planned to have him executed. But considering he was the father-in-law of Qianlong's daughter and was one of the key ministers, the new emperor allowed him to keep his body in the full shape after his death, which was very important for people at that time. And all his children, especially his elder son, the husband of the princess, was pardoned. It's hard to say whether it's a coincidence or destination. Heshen ended his life in the same way as the legendary concubine, hanging themselves with a white long cloth. Pay attention to the windows on the opposite building. Each window has a unique shape. It's an index to the jewelries and antiques in the different rooms. There is a small temple for the mountain god up on the hill, and a small temple for the Dragon King down the hill. The Dragon King decides when and how much to rain, which is vital for agriculture. Heshen even designed a miniature of the Great Wall in his garden. Pay attention to the small bridge to the left of the building in the middle of the water. It's in the shape of a boat. Very clever idea. I have to say, Heshen had a very good taste of art. In order to save misunderstanding, I want to make a little bit of explanation here. The new emperor killed Heshen for political purpose. It had nothing to do with his affairs with Qianlong. Discrimination against homosexuality in China started in the 20th century, possibly related to the introduction of monogamy. These three guys are the three gods in charge of salary, luck, and health. What more can you ask for life? The dragon here demonstrated that the owner of this land is a relative of the emperor. This is the most private part of the palace. It's a place for the owner to relax. The name of the building is the Bats Hall. In ancient times, the Chinese people believed that bats bring good luck because the pronunciation of bat is the same as luck. Although it's a common knowledge today that bats can bring virus and disease. It's too cold to grow bananas in Beijing, but people like banana trees as a decoration in the garden. It is regarded as a very romantic relaxation to listen to the sounds made by raindrops on the tree leaves. This is the most luxurious pleasure at that time, a private theater. At that time, it was considered immoral for women to show their faces in public, so female roles were also played by male actors. The profession of an actor is classified into the same category as that of a prostitute. Farewell My Concubine, a film starring Leslie Cheung and Gong Li, tells the tragical story of a triangle love among two actors and a prostitute. There is a peony garden here. It's a pity the flowers are gone. I so love the design of this small living room. There is an exhibition of the palaces of the princes in Beijing. It's a pity most of these palaces are gone. Thanks to the invention of the camera, Today we can still have a glimpse of their past glamour. The demise of the Qing dynasty is a tragedy. If they could have compromised the voice of the people earlier, China might have become a modern monarchy like Britain and Japan. History cannot be rewritten. I wish people can learn something from history. On my way to the exit, I noticed that I have missed this important courtyard in the east wing. This was the living room where Prince Gong received important guests. He was the younger brother of Emperor Heshen and was widely regarded as more capable. He believed that China should embrace modern technology, and he is the founder of modern diplomacy for China. It is a controversy why his father, Emperor Daoguang, preferred his elder brother to be the emperor. However, after China's defeat in the two Opium Wars, he became one of the key decision-makers in China. Sometimes he received the foreign envoys in this living room. The arrangement is a reduced version of the State Hall in the Forbidden City, a symbol of his statue as the regent. Okay, my visit to the Prince Kong's palace is coming to the end. If you want to visit the palace, 2 or 3 hours is suggested. Turn left after exit and keep walking. We will arrive at the Houhai Lake, a very attractive pub area of Beijing. Is there anything more refreshing than a cup of iced fruit tea in the hot summer? Keep walking for 5 or 10 minutes. We'll arrive at this lotus market, one of the gateways to the Houhai Lake. It's nice to take a walk around the lake. There is a lovely tiny island here. It's a pity people are not allowed in. There is a man flying kite here. It's a very tiny kite, can you see it? It's in the middle of the picture. Well, I hope his neck will be alright. The best time to visit Houhai is the evening, when all the pubs are open and the neon lights are flashing. Well, let's find a chance to come back in the evening. Okay, it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching this video. And as always, any comments or suggestions are most welcomed. Please enjoy the day. Hope to see you again.